looking from the clock on the wall to the child's face, recognition setting in like a winter's shocking cold chill. But Juanita knew. She'd lost a husband early in her first marriage. He'd had no children, though. It was a blessing for her, though she didn't know it at the time. It was something Dee had learned the hard way. Having them for even a brief time wasn't worth losing them. Having remarried and given birth to 2 healthy children since, Juanita was always there for Dee after she'd suffered her loss, trying to help, though she just didn't understand, not completely. "I'll tell him, Mother," Dee replied as she stripped off the bloody outer garment she was wearing, knowing it would be a ghastly jolt to make the woman look at her child's blood. "It should come from me." Dee did the task standing there, not as she'd been trained. They weren't to let themselves feel too much, but they were still to have compassion. While she could empathize with the woman, she couldn't serve up an ounce of compassion just then. It was as though any amount of compassion would break her. She was held together by only a thin thread, a thread that had been straining for the past 5 years. She had a feeling it was about to break. After the woman asked to see her husband and child, Dee turned her over to Juanita. It was her opportunity. She had to get away. Dee went into the break room where she found David seated with his head bowed, his hands folded between his knees. She knew he was praying. A day late and a dollar short, as they say. Not that it would do any good. She knew they were harsh thoughts, but that couldn't change the way she felt. He looked up at her frowning. He knew her story, and she hated him for that. She saw concern in his brown eyes. "An hour and a half till shift change," Dee stated. "Why not call Reggie in early? I'm calling it a day." "No, I'm calling it a week, a month, maybe a year, maybe forever." "Are you going to be okay?" "Of course I am," Dee snapped, tears again burning. "Don't be nice to me. Don't offer kind words. I had enough of them 5 years ago. Do I have to be reminded again? Every time a child dies, every time a father dies. Oh, but both dying the same day, in the same kind of accident. It was just too much." Dee turned and picked up the phone and called the hospital chief of staff. "I'll be taking some time off," she told him. "I have time accumulated." She squeezed the phone as her superior asked if she was okay, almost as though already knowing what had happened in the ER that morning. Did the hospital grapevine work that fast? "Of course I'm fine," she lied. "No, I don't know." Dee knew she couldn't lie to Max. He knew her almost as well as Juanita. They had gone through their residency together, except Dee had been in her first year, he in his last. Her husband Neil had been Max's friend since high school. Though Max and she had dated once or twice, everything changed when they'd gone on a double date with Neil and some girl whose name she couldn't even remember. Maybe Monique, Monica, something like that. There had been something magnetic between Neil and Dee from the start. Soon they were deep in conversation, leaving Max and Mona, that was her name, staring at each other, baffled at the way the night had changed. Luckily, neither one had really cared, and soon started their own conversation. That night, Neil and Dee left together. So did Max and Mona. Though Dee's relationship with Neil was sealed from the start, she doubted Max and Mona ever saw one another again. "Take as long as you need," Max offered. She doubted he realized he might be offering her an eternity. At the moment, she didn't feel like she could ever return to the hospital again, where once she thrived on the hectic pace. She now was drained of all that had once made her want to practice emergency medicine. So that's chapter 1.
Dedicate her father.
Now talk nice to us.
Dedicate her
So
father.
what is the new book? Is that
Morning, April.
New book.
Yeah, it's a father's love.
Oh, Daddy. Get it.
Okay, it's taping, but now I'm trying to find out how that works. Okay. That is. These are the swag bags. There's some games over there. A table of books you can't see. We're all ready. It'll be good. There, first person here.
I know the other ones are cool, but you know how our game is. They're always late, right? You and I are always the first ones.
First person here is Kim.
Everybody else is late. They're excited. Vicky's excited.
Oh, I'm glad.
So good. Yes, we're all so proud of her.
Betty's coming. I'm like, that's so nice. She's
She was,
getting out.
she was at study. She came to Bible study.
Good.
Oh, I love your Beatles.
Yeah, it's all Beatles stuff up there too.